Well, it's just not Conservatives who are thinking about the way forward. New Democrats also asking themselves some tough questions right now, both about their party and with a new parliament ahead. Only 7 New Democrats won re-election Monday night, down from 25 when Parliament was dissolved back in March. Heather McPherson is one of those 7 re-elected in the riding of Edmonton-Strathcona. She joins us now. Heather, thank you for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Michael.
Listen, I know this must be a difficult time, losing as many colleagues as you did, but when you think about the New Democrats who did not win re-election or those who did not even get elected, what do you think Canadians have lost out on?
Yeah, Canada needs a new Democratic Party. It's vital for our democracy. I've spoken to so many people across the country. We don't want a two-party style electoral system like we see in the United States. We've seen how that's not good for Americans. That wouldn't be good for Canadians. It pushes people to the outside, to the extremes. We need to have a democracy where there are multiple voices. There are, more than just 2 big parties that are fighting it out, and New Democrats play that important role. So, we have 7 New Democrats going back to Ottawa. I wish there were more, but those 7 of us are going to be working very, very hard to make sure that not only are we holding the government accountable, not only are we making sure the Liberals fulfill the promises they made to Canada, but that there are more New Democrats at the table next time around.
But New Democrats have steadily been losing ground since the Orange Wave back in 2011. But provincially, in the West in particular, the NDP remains a strong force. Does your party at the federal level need to do things differently, perhaps learn from your provincial colleagues?
I think when I think about what New Democrats do achieve in the House of Commons, you speak about having 25 in the House of Commons in the last Parliament. Well, those 25 did more than every single one of the Conservatives combined. We were able to work with the government to get dental care put in place, the pharmacare program, anti-scab legislation, 10 days of sick leave. Like, all of these major impacts for Canadians' lives happened because New Democrats were there. And yeah, there were only 25 of us. And there are only going to be 7 in this next Parliament. But what we're able to achieve because we are New Democrats, because we are fighting for Canadians, I think is really important.
Now, the Liberals are once again in a minority position. You mentioned about the things that your party was able to do with just 25 last time around. Would you be willing to enter another supply and confidence agreement with the Liberals this time around? Because that would essentially give them majority vote to get things passed.
Listen, we will work with the Liberals if they are doing things for Canadians. Obviously, there has been no discussions with the Liberals, and we are not doing that right now. If they stop doing things for Canadians, they will lose New Democrat support. That's an easy one. That is what we have said all along. When they are delivering for Canadians, they can count on New Democrats to be fighting alongside them. When they start fighting for the ultra wealthy, I'm worried about our Prime Minister and his perhaps inability to understand what everyday Canadians are going through. When he stops fighting for regular Canadians, he'll find a foe on the New Democratic side.
A foe, but are you worried about any floor crossing? Again, the Liberals only need 3 votes to secure a majority. No. Are you? No, and so you would not cross the floor yourself.
Not in a million years. I am a very, very, very proud New Democrat.
Now, you have been one of the most high-profile New Democrats since being elected in 2019. You handily won in your own riding with nearly 47% of the vote this time around. Is it time for you to take that accomplishment to the next level? Will you run to replace Jagmeet Singh as leader? We've got not even 48 hours since the election was called, and we are having lots of discussions right now with our caucus members, with folks that weren't able to get reelected, with the party. There's lots of conversations happening right now, and that's not one of them. We've got to figure out what the next few weeks looks like, the next few months looks like. There'll be time for those conversations, but right now I'm focused on making sure that the 7 New Democrats that go back to Ottawa are ready to fight for Canadians. So what does that mean then, Heather? Because, now that Jagmeet Singh says he's going to step aside once you choose an interim leader, that is one step that you're going to have to accomplish. Also, yeah. I was seeing that Don Davies is looking at a way to try to get your party official party status because you fall short of the 12 seats needed right now. Yeah. Where are those discussions right now?
Well,
For me, I'm trying to figure out exactly how all of those pieces play because, like I said, it's just after the election. A really hard fought election as well. So right now we're having conversations. We're talking. All of us that are returning to Ottawa are talking about how we strategize because there are only going to be 7 of us. So we need to be more strategic. We need to be thinking of how we pool our resources, how we use the tools that we have. We've all got phenomenal teams behind us, and let's figure out how to use those teams together, and let's figure out how to make sure that we're being as effective as we possibly can in Ottawa, because Canadians need New Democrats, and we need to be there fighting for everyday Canadians.
Mm-hmm. Give us a bit of a glimpse, if you will, in the choice for an interim leader, because again, that's going to be up to the remaining members of caucus. You're now, of course, one of the 7 remaining members of caucus. Mm-hmm. Will you be headed to Ottawa then to come together and figure out who the interim leader is going to be? Walk us through that process.
Yeah, so for us right now, we're going to have a conversation. We have a caucus meeting set up, so we are going to be doing it on Zoom because we are from all across the country. So we'll have a conversation, talk about some of the choices that we have, look at some of the options, figure out what that looks like going forward, and hopefully in the next few days we'll have more news for you.
Okay, so the next few days. So by next week, you think you'll have made that choice then?
I certainly wouldn't want to mislead anyone. We will get there as fast as we can, but it's a tricky process, and there's lots of conversations happening.
Okay. Listen, Heather, I always appreciate the time. Congratulations on your win, and I know it's a bit bittersweet given what's happened to the party and the caucus overall, but thank you very much for the time this evening.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. Nice to see you again, Michael.
And you.